From the Global Newsroom in Toronto.
Sirens wail again on the streets of Tel Aviv on the 5th straight day of hostilities between Israel and Hamas. And in Gaza today, the single deadliest strike in the conflict so far. Israel says it was targeting the mastermind behind the rocket attacks, but women and children are among the dead. Good evening and thank you for joining us. Palestinian officials say at least 11 people, including 4 children, were killed in that attack at a house in Gaza. Israel insists it was targeting a militant, but it's not clear if he is among the dead. Israel is also expanding its operation, aiming for the homes of Hamas leaders. It comes in response to yet another day of rockets launched against the Jewish state. Global National's Sean Mallon leads our coverage again tonight. Sean?
Hello, Robin. Well, there are actually some hopes of a ceasefire tonight because Israel has dispatched a diplomat to Cairo to talk about it. It coincides, though, with the worst single loss of life of any incident since this campaign started. Of all the hundreds of Israeli airstrikes since Wednesday, this was the most lethal. A 2-story building in Gaza City was flattened. Palestinian medical officials say 4 young children were among the dead. Israel says it was targeting a top official of Islamic Jihad, a claim that couldn't be verified. Among the other hits, what the Israeli army described as a Hamas communications facility on the top of this building, a building that also happens to house several Western news organizations and an Arabic service friendly to Hamas. At least 6 journalists were wounded. As the casualties continue to mount, Israel claims that Hamas bears some responsibility by purposely locating weapons facilities close to civilians. But the firing continues to go 2 ways. Dozens of rockets were launched from Gaza. Air sirens went off twice in Tel Aviv. Israeli officials say their Iron Dome defense system intercepted all the missiles aimed at the city, but wreckage from one fell on a car, injuring 1 person. Citizens of the Jewish state are weary and angry about the constant threat. In Jerusalem, Israel's cabinet met with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu issuing a warning to Hamas. We are prepared for a significant expansion of our operations, he said. Meanwhile, they're also facing outrage from Palestinians on the other side of the country. On the outskirts of Ramallah, protesters skirmished with Israeli security forces. No bombs are falling here, but hatred is high for Israel.
For a Palestinian, it should be worse at some point, so that it will be better later.
In this part of the Palestinian world, there's a strong feeling that despite Israel's pounding of Gaza, Hamas is actually getting the better of the battle.
It's making progress, and for us, that's winning. For a rocket to arrive to Tel Aviv or to, Jerusalem, even if it, goes into a playground or an empty space, for us, that's a big thing.
On the world stage, Israel still enjoys substantial support from its most important backer.
There's no country on earth that would tolerate missiles raining down on its citizens from outside its borders.
But that support is not limitless. Britain's Foreign Secretary William Hague warned Israel today that it risks losing much sympathy if it does launch that threatened ground assault. Robin?
Sean, what's the status of the talks on a ceasefire?
Well, the new development there is that the UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon is getting involved. He's going to be in Cairo to see if he can assist. But really, it all boils down to the 2 sides wanting a ceasefire. Israel and Hamas have to decide the costs, the benefits, and the potential damage if this thing escalates even more. Robin?
Sean Mallon in Jerusalem. Thanks very much, Sean.